Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dives. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our future deep dives.
That's right.
We love having you all along for the ride.
Absolutely.
Today we're tackling a topic that's going to be especially interesting for those of you interested in international relations,
Yeah.
global economics,
Mhm.
or really anyone who just wants to understand,
How the world works.
how the world works.
Exactly.
We're diving deep into APEC, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation.
You know, what's really interesting about APEC is it's not just another acronym.
Right.
It's this forum for some of the most dynamic economies in the world to come together.
Right.
And they represent a huge chunk of global trade and GDP.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
We're talking 21 economies all bordering the Pacific Rim.
Wow.
All working towards these shared goals of sustainable growth and prosperity.
It sounds like a pretty exclusive club.
It is.
And there's one major economy that's been trying to get in for years.
Oh, yeah.
India.
India. Big player.
So today we'll be unpacking the reasons behind India's long quest for APEC membership.
Right.
And what it could mean for both India and the global economic landscape.
Sounds good.
So whether you're a UPSC aspirant,
Yes.
getting ready for those tricky international relations questions, or a student of economics,
Of course.
or just someone who wants to be more informed about the forces shaping our world,
This deep dive is for you.
this one's for you.
Absolutely.
So to understand why India is so keen on joining APEC,
Right.
I think we need to take a step back and understand how this organization actually works.
Okay, so APEC, it's not about imposing rules or creating these binding agreements.
Interesting.
It's more about fostering cooperation, building trust among member economies.
Got it.
It's more like a platform for dialogue where everyone has an equal voice.
Okay.
And decisions are made through consensus.
That's interesting. So it's not like a top-down organization dictating terms. It's more about collaboration
Yeah.
and finding common ground.
Finding common ground. Exactly. And this approach has been remarkably successful. Over the years, APEC has played a crucial role in liberalizing trade, promoting investment, facilitating economic integration across the Asia-Pacific region.
It's incredible to think that what started as an informal dialogue between leaders back in 1989 has evolved into such a powerful economic force.
It really has. And remember, this is a group that accounts for over half of global GDP.
Wow.
And nearly half of world trade.
That's huge.
So when APEC makes a move,
people listen.
The world takes notice.
And now India wants in on the action.
They do.
They've been an observer since 2011, but getting full membership has been a little bit of a challenge.
It has been, yeah.
So let's delve into the reasons behind this delay.
Okay.
And explore the potential hurdles that India needs to overcome.
All right, well, when India first applied for membership back in 2007, there were concerns about its level of economic integration and commitment to free trade. APEC members were hesitant to admit an economy that wasn't fully aligned with their principles of open markets and trade liberalization.
Makes sense.
There were also questions about whether India's domestic policies, some of which were considered protectionist, would clash with APEC's free trade agenda.
So it's not as simple as just knocking on the door and saying, let us in.
Not quite, no.
There's a real need for India to demonstrate its commitment to APEC's core values.
Precisely. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because while those concerns might have been valid back in 2007, India's economic landscape has transformed dramatically over the past decade.
That's right. India is now the fastest growing major economy globally.
That's right.
And it's projected to become the world's third largest economy by 2030.
It is.
Those are some serious credentials.
For sure.
So let's flip the script and look at why APEC might actually need India.
Okay.
Just as much as India needs APEC.
You're right.
What do you think?
You're absolutely right. APEC is facing its own set of challenges.
Yeah.
And adding a dynamic economy like India could be just what the doctor ordered.
Okay.
Many APEC economies are struggling with slow growth and aging populations.
Right.
India, on the other hand, has a young and vibrant workforce that could inject much-needed dynamism into the region.
It's almost like a perfect match.
It is.
APEC needs fresh energy and growth potential.
Yes.
And India needs a platform to integrate further into the global economy.
Exactly.
But as with any relationship,
Sure.
there are bound to be some complexities.
Of course.
And adjustments needed on both sides.
Exactly. It's not just about what India can gain from APEC, but also what India brings to the table and the adjustments APEC might need to make to accommodate such a large and diverse economy.
Yeah, like India.
Like India, exactly. Let's dig a little deeper into what India brings to the table.
Okay.
It's not just about India's impressive economic growth, but the sectors where it excels. India's IT industry, for example, is world-renowned.
It is.
And its pharmaceutical sector, a major global player.
Yeah, those are big.
These are areas where APEC economies could really benefit from increased collaboration and knowledge sharing.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not just the overall size of the economy,
Right.
but the unique strengths and
Expertise,
expertise
absolutely.
that India can bring to the partnership.
It's a recipe for some exciting synergies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And let's not forget about India's massive consumer market.
Oh, of course, yeah.
As incomes rise, India's middle class is expanding so rapidly, creating this huge demand for goods and services.
Exactly.
For APEC businesses, this represents a tremendous opportunity to tap into a new and rapidly growing market.
It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
But of course, no relationship is without its challenges.
Right.
So what are some of the hurdles that both India and APEC would need to address to make this partnership work?
For India, one of the biggest challenges would be further opening up its markets, reducing trade barriers.
Right.
Now, while India has made significant progress in liberalizing its economy over the past few decades, there are still areas where it lags behind other APEC economies in terms of trade openness.
I see.
This could be a sticking point for some APEC members who are really committed to those free trade principles.
So India would need to demonstrate that it's willing to play by APEC's rules.
Yes.
When it comes to trade.
Exactly.
What about APEC?
Yeah.
What adjustments might it need to make to accommodate a large and diverse economy like India?
APEC would need to make sure that its mechanisms and processes are robust enough to integrate an economy of India's scale and complexity.
Right.
Remember, APEC operates on consensus, which can be challenging.
With so many members.
When you have a large number of members with diverse interests.
Right.
So integrating India into this framework would require careful consideration and potential adjustments to ensure that everyone's voice is heard and decisions are met effectively.
Sounds like there's a lot of work to be done on both sides
to
make this partnership a success.
For sure.
But let's shift gears for a moment.
Okay.
And zoom out to the bigger picture.
Right.
What are the potential implications of India joining APEC for the global economic landscape?
India's entry into APEC could have a ripple effect across the global economy.
Wow.
One of the most significant impacts could be a shift in global trade patterns.
Okay.
We could see a rebalancing of trade away from those traditional powerhouses towards the Indo-Pacific region,
Interesting.
creating a more multipolar economic world.
That sounds like a pretty seismic shift.
It would be.
Are there any other potential ripple effects we should consider?
Well, APEC has always been about more than just trade.
True.
It also promotes cooperation on issues like sustainable development, climate change, and disaster resilience.
Yeah, these are all big issues.
India's participation could bring new perspectives and resources to these efforts, leading to more effective solutions for global challenges.
So India's entry into APEC isn't just an economic story.
No.
It's a story about global cooperation.
Absolutely.
And tackling shared challenges.
It is.
What a fascinating development to consider.
It is fascinating.
It is.
And, you know, it's worth noting that APEC itself isn't without its challenges.
That's true.
In recent years, we've seen rising protectionism and trade tensions, particularly between the U.S. and China.
Right.
And these developments threaten the very foundation of free trade that APEC is built upon.
That's right. And we've also seen the emergence of sub-regional trade agreements.
Yes.
Like the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Yes. TPP.
And the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership.
WET.
Which could potentially fragment the regional economic landscape.
Right.
And dilute APEC's influence.
Exactly. So the question is, can APEC adapt and remain relevant in this evolving global trade environment?
That's a question with huge implications.
It is.
For the future of the Asia-Pacific region and beyond.
Yeah.
And perhaps perhaps India's entry into APEC.
Could be
a catalyst for revitalizing the organization.
Yeah.
And reaffirming its commitment to free trade and cooperation.
Yes.
In a world that's increasingly fractured.
Absolutely.
It really does feel like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
On one hand, we have this incredible potential for India to become like a key player in APEC, breathing new life into the organization, reshaping global trade.
Yeah.
But on the other, we have these very real challenges that both sides need to address.
Head on.
Yeah, head on, absolutely.
It's a delicate dance for sure.
It is.
India needs to show its commitment to APEC's free trade principles.
Yeah.
And APEC needs to show its willingness to adapt and accommodate a large and diverse economy like India.
It makes you wonder, what would a successful integration of India into APEC actually look like?
Yeah.
What are the concrete steps that both sides could take to make this partnership truly transformative?
Well, for India,
the
key would be to accelerate its economic reform agenda. This means further reducing trade barriers, streamlining regulations, and creating a more investor-friendly environment. It also means addressing some of the concerns that APEC members have had about India's protectionist policies.
So it's about walking the walk.
Yes.
Not just talking the talk.
Exactly.
And what about APEC? What concrete steps could it take to welcome India into the fold?
APEC could start by providing technical assistance, capacity building support to help India align its policies and regulations with APEC standards. They could also create special working groups or committees to focus specifically on issues related to India's integration. But perhaps most importantly, APEC needs to engage in open and honest dialogue with India. Addressing concerns directly, working collaboratively to find solutions.
It sounds like building trust and understanding is key.
It really is.
This can't just be a transactional relationship.
No.
It needs to be a genuine partnership based on shared values. And a commitment to working together for mutual benefit.
Exactly. And ultimately, the success of this partnership will depend on the political will and commitment of both India and APEC members. If both sides are willing to put in the effort and make the necessary compromises, the rewards could be substantial, not just for India and APEC, but for the global economy as a whole.
Well, dig divers, we've reached the end of our exploration of APEC and India's journey towards membership. It's a complex and evolving story.
It is.
With high stakes and the potential to reshape the economic and geopolitical landscapes of the Asia-Pacific region.
For sure.
We encourage you to continue learning about this important topic. And to consider the potential implications.
Definitely.
Of India's inclusion in this powerful economic bloc.
It's a big one.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes.
Oh, see you next time.
We'll see you next time.